No separating the two hottest teams out in League Two, as both Bradford and Bolton could not be split. But Cheltenham still lead the charge over in League Two. But what about you? We'll take a little look next. Back once again with another prediction show today. We'll take a look at match number 35 out in League 2, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button, get your bang out today with all things League 2 related, Blackburn Rovers related. Woo! Football related, we're going to roll here. Under one, Rooski, that's right. And my boys, Morecambe keeping up the heat, of course, with a big old win against Carlisle, who look absolutely shite at the moment. They've got the Newport County disease, of course, haven't won a game in forever. But of course, Newport County have turned their season around. We'll take a look at all that in a minute, of course. But before all that, of course, I want a big shout out to who? Yes, that's right, the patrons, boys and girls. The patrons, big shout out to, of course, the 26 patrons. You what? That's right, got myself another one. Joining the illustrious band of brothers, of course. I do big shout out to Michael Collier for being the latest member of the gang. He has now become the brother of another mother, my new best mate for life. So I do appreciate that, Michael. You've become, you're going to be around the house for Thanksgiving. You're going to be around for Christmas time, all that kind of stuff. So I do appreciate that. Patreon.com/Roverseas. Get in amongst it if you're free and available. And if you think you can support the channel in another way, you do get access to a whole bunch of stuff, including, dare I say it, the old Patreon League data. Not Dolly Parton. We want to look at, that's what we want to do. We want to look at this, the Prediction League data. It's all there for your leisure. Whether you want to look at, of course, the how it's all done, all the magic's all done, or if you just want to look at League 2 in specificness, you can get access to all of that, all the names that were there in the past. See how many points off you are. Of course, who is the current leader? I think it's Frosty, right? Frosty's in the lead. Yep, he's got 162 so far. The nearest and dearest in second is Joachim Jakobsen. He's got a big bunch. He's got like 13 points to catch up. But you can piece all that apart if you become the latest member of the Patreon gang. So check it all out in the link down below. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end, of course, and take a look at the next round of well, these matches, of course, that just took place. So big upsets, of course, but of course, the leaders and dearest, Cheltenham, kicking ass and taking names. Let's get into it, of course. Exeter taking on, they took on Leyton Orient. What am I looking at, of course. They came out with a 4-0 win in the end. Joe Rando on the score sheet. Matchday with a hat-trick, giving Exeter the W. Of course, moving close to the top 6. Actually went with a 2-0 win for Exeter, so shame on. Well, pretty good for me. Meanwhile, Barrow, of course, with a monster win over Mansfield, 2-0 in the end. Back Patrick Barrow with a couple of goals there for Barrow as they took the win on that one. Ryan Sweeney got himself sent off. Actually went with a 1-1 draw, got the right amount of goals, but unfortunately not the right prediction. Meanwhile, Bradford against Bolton ended up all square 1-1 in the end. Nathan Duffont on the score sheet for Bolton. Danny Rowe, of course, in the end for Bradford, giving them the show as well. So those goals came in the last 7 to 10 minutes of that match. I actually remember the 2-2 draw, but it was a 1-1 in the end. Cambridge, of course, beat Walsall as well to keep themselves in the hunt for automatics. Paul Muller on the score sheet again. Another late goal, 94th minute. A winner for Cambridge, giving them the W, of course. Actually went with a 1-0 win, so shame on nobody. I got it right. Next up, though, of course, Cheltenham with a big 5-goal thriller over Port Vale, 3-2 in the end. Alfie May on the score sheet, Scott Brown as well. Liam Sercombe as well. William Swan, Alex Hurst made a game of it, but unfortunately too little, too late. Actually remember the 2-0 for Cheltenham, so I'm pretty happy with that as well. Colchester, they managed to get nothing out of Newport County, 2-0 in the end. Josh Ladaballali on the score sheet with Patrick Amon as well. Frank Noble got himself sent off for Colchester. Actually remember the 2-1 win for Colchester. Don't know what I was thinking, don't know what I was smoking, but I guess what? It was wrong. Next up, though, of course, Morecambe with the big winners over Carlisle United. Of course, their season's fallen apart since their break of games, of course. Anyway, of course, the goal scorer in the end for, where are you, Morecambe, 3-1 win in the end. A 1-0 for me. The goal scorers were Morecambe's goals come from Aaron Wildick, Tomiano Tegarenga, and Cole Stockton as well. Aaron Hayden got himself a goal for Carlisle, but too little, too late as well. Stevenage, though, they also picked up a win against Harrogate Town, 1-0 in the end for Stevenage. Goal scorer was Elliot List, giving them the 3 points, massive 3 points as well. Grimsby also got himself nothing, though. 2-1 loss over the Vegans, of course, comfortable win for them. Jamie Matts on score sheet, Ebio Adams as well. James Hansen on score sheet for Grimsby, giving them some hope. 2-0 for me, not too shabby. Of course, Oldham, they couldn't get nothing out of Southend. 0-0 in the end, well, just a point in the end. 2-1 for me, nothing to report here. Meanwhile, Salford also got himself a draw against Scunthorpe United, 1-1 at Salford on this one. Tom Clark on score sheet for Salford, Abio Issa on the score sheet for Scunthorpe in the end. Meanwhile, of course, Tranmere fluffed their lines as well against Crawley. Big win for Crawley is in the end of that one. 1-0 for them. Tom Nichols on the score sheet to give them the W. And as you can see, got himself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught 6 alive. That's what I got this week. What about you guys? We'll have a look at you in a minute. Of course, here we go. Of course, the table looks like this. Cheltenham leads a charge by 1 point over Cambridge, who are 1 point clear over Forest Green, who are 2 points clear over over, of course, Morecambe, who are 1 point clear over Tranmere, who are 3 points clear over Newport, and Bolton. Exeter, Salford, not too far away either, and Bradford still in the hunt as well. Of course, down the table, Grimsby and Southend going down as it stands. But what about you guys? We'll take a look at you then, shall we? Of course, prediction lead live and active. Of course, this is the criteria. 0 to 3, even the shit-faced gang, 4 to 7 straight-faced club, and 8+. You're fantastic if you get there. Of course, David Eva did grabbly shite. Cody Go also did pretty good for himself. Well done, of course. Janet Bassett also did bits. Ollie Hamley also did pretty good. Game Child not to Sheffield Leeds 2021 did alright. Fair 77 also did good. Alex Weather did bits. Ultra Unreal, well done to you, of course. Well done. Of course, Zappa Cook did bits. James P50 are great. Olaji Ojo also did very well as well. How about Nate Russell Frost? You did good, brother. You did good, of course. Okay, did okay. Matt Skivil not too sure because the D-Man also did very well. And of course, Ivan Stringer, well done to you. Of course, Joachim Jackson did very well. And of course, Shepherd also did very well as well. What about the leaderboard? Well, here it comes at you. Full kilt. Nathan Eva, don't even look at it. Don't even look at it, Neva. Nathan Eva, of course, Shepherd. Don't even look at it as well. Joachim Jackson, take a bloody mile. A big stride. Moving closer to, of course, Russell Frost, who, of course, had a nightmare on his standards. Of course, 3 points adrift now for this week. And what about the overall situation? We did have a little sneaky peek look at it earlier. But, of course, your kingpin is still Russell Frost with a 49% success rate, which I believe is around about 13 points clear of Joachim Jackson. So he needs to make up some this kind of strides for the next 4 or 5 weeks to close in on, of course, Frosty to make it a bit of a fruity one at the end of it, of course. Besides that, the same could be said for Omar Askew. He also needs to have some big weekends, but it could be a 3-horse race at the very latest. But of course, the next few weeks will be massive. If Frosty brings his A game, then guess what? I think it's going to be over before the month of April. But anyway, let's get into it. Of course, let's take a look at the next round of matches. Kick it all off with Carlisle up against Grimsby. Now, these two sides played for the last 6, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws last time around. In Carlisle, a 0-0 draw back in December 2019. Of course, they also played each other this season in Grimsby. It was a 1-1 draw as well. Heading into this, though, of course, Grimsby winning, 3 defeats on the spin, just 1 win in the past 6. Meanwhile, 4 defeats on the spin for Carlisle without a win in forever. Of course, it's getting to be an absolute Rovers-esque sort of nightmare for Carlisle as they head into this one. Of course, bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, Carlisle 20-11 on the eye, Stone Cold favourites, 14-5 is draw, 5-1 is your Grimsby. Of course, Grimsby all the way down in, of course, 24th, but with them they can close it in on 23rd. Carlisle down to the 13th now. Got a couple of games in hand, and with them they could actually go as high as 11th. For me, I'm going to give it to Carlisle to break the hoodoo and get the win. 3 points in the bag. Crawley taking, of course, Salford in this midweek on Tuesday the 9th of March. Played the last 3. 1 for Crawley, nothing for Salford. 2 draws last time around. Crawley was a 2-0 win for Crawley. Back in, of course, August 2019. Benza Lubabla, also Nathan Ferguson as well. They also played at Salford. Back in, of course, October 2000 this season. Of course, James Wilson, George Frankham, giving Crawley a share of the sports. Heading into this, just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Salford. That was against Morecambe. Meanwhile, just 3 wins in the past 6 games for Crawley, picking up wins against Colchester, picking up wins against Exeter, and of course Tranmere most recently. Look at the biggest odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, Crawley coming at you. Where are you? Where are you, Crawley? I'm going at on this one, of course, 2-1 for them. For the extra 11-8 is just Salford, 9-4 is the draw. Crawley into 12th at the moment, but for them they could go 10th. Sitting in 9th though is Salford, and for them they could go as high as 6th at the table. That's playoffs, boys. That's playoffs. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for Crawley though to take the 3 points and move the bloody chains. Next up we have them vegans, them tofu snatchers, playing of course Morecambe. Last 6 between 3 for Forest Green, 2 for Morecambe, 1 draw. Last round at Forest Green was a 1-0 win for Morecambe, of course, back in November 2018. Aaron Wildig on the score sheet giving them the win. Meanwhile, they also played this season in Morecambe. It was a 2-1 win for Forest Green. That was back of course in October. AJ Leach on the score sheet. AJ Leach Smith, should I say. Jake Young and Jemmy Mallet, or Matt, on the score sheet for Forest Green as they took the 3 points. Heading into this, though, just 1 defeat in the past 5 games for Morecambe. Another 1 defeat was against Mansfield. Meanwhile, 3 wins in the past 5 games for the Vegans. However, they did lose to Southend. They also lost to Stevenage as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, what do we have the bookies odds on this one? We have, of course, the Vegans coming out 5-4 for the 20-10 is your Morecambe. 23-10 is your draw. Of course, Morecambe all the way down, and of course, in 4th. A win for them, they could actually go as high as 2nd. Sitting in 3rd, though, is them Vegans. In a win for them, they could go top of the bloody pops in the bloody end. For me, I'm going to go with this one for the Vegans with the 2-0 win over Morecambe to, of course, potentially push into the top 2 or maybe even number 1. Next, of course, Harrogate up against Colchester United, of course. Played each other last, just the 1 time, of course, back in Colchester. It was a 2-1 win for Colchester back in October, of course. The bookies, the Callum Harriott on the score sheet, Ben Stevenson as well. John Stead, extra over on the score sheet for Harrogate. Heading into this, though, of course, Harrogate just 1 defeat the past 4 games. The rest have been wins. I mean, it was just 1 win the past 6 games for Colchester. That was against Carlisle, of course. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We've got Harrogate 6-5 on for the Rick G, 5-2 is draw, 10-3 is your Colchester United. Colchester United coming to this all the way down to 20th, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 16th, whereas Harrogate are actually in 11th, and a win for them. They could actually go as high as 10th, and maybe in a playoff push as well. I'm going to go with Harrogate on this one, the one win over Colchester, who look absolutely dog shite. Next up, of course, Leyton Orient up against Stevenage. Just Stevenage, I think they're called now, FC maybe. Plays for the last 6, 4 for Leyton Orient, 1 for Stevenage, 1 draw last round at Brisbane Rovers, a 0-0 draw back in August 2019. They also played at Stevenage back in, of course, October 2000. This season, of course, it was 2-0 win for Orient. Goal scorer was Jordan Magoo Drew, of course, Conor Wilkinson as well. Heading into this, Stevenage unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws to boot. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Leyton Orient. That one was against, of course, Grimsby, 1-0 on the road. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We got Leyton Orient coming at you, 5-4 for the victory. We have also 11-5 is draw, 9-4 is your Stevenage. Stevenage coming at you in 15th at the moment. A win for them, they could actually go as high as 12th. We're sitting in 14th is Leyton Orient. A win for them, they could also go as high as 11th in the end. I think Leyton Orient will think this one with the 2 win at Brisbane Road. Mansfield Town taking, of course, Cheltenham. These two sides played each other the last 6, 1 for Mansfield, 3 for Cheltenham, 2 draws last round. At Mansfield was a 3-0 win for Cheltenham back in, of course, what are we looking at here? December 2019. 3-0 in the end. Goal scorers Jonte Smith, William Boyle, Alex Aldaya as well on the score sheet. They also played each other this season at Cheltenham. It was a 0-0 draw back in October. They also played each other in the FA Cup. It was a 2-1 win for Cheltenham over Mansfield as well. So actually 4 wins on the spin for Cheltenham over Mansfield. Of course, heading into this, there are 4 wins on the spin for Cheltenham at the moment. Beating Cambridge, beating Scunthorpe, beating Southend, and beating Port Vale. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Mansfield against Morecambe at home as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we got? What do we have on this one? Mansfield coming at you 70-10 for the victory, 9-4 is your draw, 8-5 is your Cheltenham. Cheltenham coming at the on this one. They're in, of course, top of the pops, and a win for them. They'll be top of the pops. As for their opposition, of course, Mansfield all the way down, and of course, 19th, but a win for them. They could move up to 16th in the table. Tough, but I think 3-1 will take it. Cheltenham will take it with a 3-1 win in the end. Next up, we have Newport County taking, of course, Bradford City, of course, with the goals. Also played each other the last 3, 2 for Newport, 1 for Bradford, no draws last time around at Bradford was this season. Of course, 3-0 win for Newport. Last time played each other, though, in Newport was back, of course, last season, 2-1 win as well. Ryan Innes, Scott Bennett on score sheet for Newport, Clinton Thompson gave the goal for Bradford. Heading into this, though, Bradford unbeaten in at least 6 games, winning 5 and drawing 1. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 4 games for Newport. That 1 defeat was against Tranmere, 1-0 loss on the road. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have at the bookies odds? Where are you? Newport 11-8 for the victory, 9-4 draw, 2-1 is your Bradford. Bradford coming into this, of course, in 10th, and for them they could actually go as high as 8th, whereas Newport are actually in 6th, and for them they could actually move up to 5th in the table. Tight this one. Going to go with the 2-1 win though for Bradford, who've got the bit between the teeth and another game unbeaten. Next up, we have Port Vale up against Oldham Athletic. Let's take a look at this one. The show, of course, played for the last 6, 3 for Port Vale, 1 for Oldham, 2 draws last time around. And of course, at Vale Park was a 0-0 draw back in October 2019. They also played this season at Boundary Park was a 2-1 win for Port Vale, of course, back in, of course, October as well this season. Heading into this though, 3 defeats on the spin for Port Vale. Sorry, losing to Cambridge, losing to Salford, losing of course to Cheltenham. On the flip side, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Oldham. That 1 was against Carlisle, but who cannot beat Carlisle at the moment? Everybody is beating Port Vale, Carlisle at the moment. Port Vale 11-8 for the victory, 25 draw, 9-5 is of course your Oldham. Oldham coming at you all the way down, and of course 16th, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 14th, whereas their opposition Port Vale are all the way down into 21st. Of course, I tipped them for the playoffs, and a win for them this week could go up to as high as 19th in the table. For me, going to go with a 1-0 win for Oldham on this one. 3 points in the bag. Next up, we have Scunthorpe United taking, of course, Exeter. Played for the last 6, 2 for Scunthorpe, 3 for Exeter, 1 draw last time around. In Scunthorpe was a 3-1 win for Scunthorpe as well back in October 2019. Goal scorers on that day, Wales, it was James Perch on score sheet, Jamie Ward as well, Alex Gilead as well, Matchday on score sheet for Exeter as they took a care of nothing on that one. For me, what about this one? Of course, heading into this, Exeter just 1 defeat past 6 and 1 defeat against Crawley. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 4 games for Scunthorpe. That one that 1 win was against Cambridge United in the bloody end on that son of a gun. For me, what about going on that one? I'll tell you in just a minute. Let me just clean this up a second. It's going to be tight though, I do suspect. Look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one? Scunthorpe against Exeter. The bookies odds, here they come. Scunthorpe 5-2 for the victory, 25 draw, 20-20 is your Exeter. Of course, Scunthorpe all the way down into, of course, 17th, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 14th, whereas Exeter are actually in 8th, and a win for them. They could go 6th in the table. Exeter look good at the moment as well, just 1 defeat past 6. For me, going to go with a 2-1 win there for Scunthorpe, who unbeaten in 2. A bit of a rough patch, but of course, 1 win and 4 if you want to spin it a different way. Meanwhile, Southend taking, of course, Tranmere last 6, 2 wins for Southend, 1 for Tranmere, 3 draws. That's around in Southend. Was an 0-0 draw back in January 2020. Meanwhile, they also played each other this season in Tranmere as a 2-0 win as well for Tranmere. Heading into this, though, 1 defeat the past 6 games for Tranmere. The 1 defeat was against Crawley. Meanwhile, 1 win in the past 6 games for Southend. That 1 win was against the Vegans, of course, at Veganland, midway through the month of Feb. Look at the bookies odds on this one, then, shall we? What do we have on this one? We have, of course, Southend coming at you 5-2 for the ratio, 11-10 is your Tranmere, 12-5 is your draw. Southend are 23rd, but for them, they could actually go above, put Barrow into 22nd. As for their opposition, Tranmere all the way up into 5th at the moment, but for them, they could go 3rd in the table, depending on what goes on elsewhere. For me, 2-0 win for Tranmere to get the 3 points and move the bloody chains. Next up, they went Bolton up against Cambridge. Pressure just one time in recent times. That was, of course, back in Cambridge, of course, this season in October was a 1-1 draw in the end. Heading into this, though, Port Vale without a defeat in at least 6 games, winning 5, drawing their last one. On the flip side, 3 wins in the past 5 games for Cambridge. They did lose to Cheltenham. They also lost to Scunthorpe. But will they lose this one as well? Heading into this, what do we have on this one then? Bolton up against Cambridge. Of course, bookies odds on this one then. Shout 11-10 for Bolton, 25 is your draw. Of course, 25 is also your away win. Cambridge are, of course, 2nd, and win for them. They could go top. As for Bolton, they're in 7th, and win for them. They could go 5th in the bloody table. I think Bolton will nick this one with a 3-1 win in the end. And then wrap it up, of course, will be Walsall taking, of course, Barrow. Is this correct? Walsall up against Barrow. Let me have a little look at this one. I don't think I've got this one ready. Is that right? Is that bloody right? I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to do for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's another one. There is another one. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? I'm missing Walsall playing somebody. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. That is it. There is a Brucey bonus one here with Walsall up against Barrow. But we'll do this. We'll do that pick in midweek. But I'll tell you anyway. I'll tell you what it is. I've gone with the one who went for Walsall, but don't put it in there. Do not put this in there. Let me get my pen out here, and we're going to score that out. We're going to score that one out. Yeah, and that's what we'll do. We'll do the 11 picks, and then we'll go again, of course, midweek, including the Walsall game. Until then, that's it, my friends. That's all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash your thumbs up. If you're new, smash your subscribe. This is what the table will look like at the end of it, including the Walsall victory over Barrow, of course. But it'll be Cheltenham, Forest Green, Cambridge lead the charge, of course, Tranmere, Morecambe, Bolton, and Newport in the playoffs. Of course, Grimsby, Southend going down as it stands. Be sure to get your picks in nice and early for this. So we'll do it all again, of course, midweek, with the next round of matches, of course, for the weekend. That's it, my friends. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. We'll do it all again very, very soon. But until then, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Patreon, I'm on Twitch. Check them all out. And again, if you want to support the channel in another way, Patreon is the best place to do it. Check it all out. Until then, I'm out.